Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series, where I go over each and every 2024 Men's College Basketball Conference Tournament. This is going to be the 11th of 32 shows, and this will be the Southern Conference, the SoCon. The tournament will be held at Harrah's Cherokee Center, Nashville, North Carolina. We'll go over the seedings, and we'll go over the bracket. Then we'll do everything else. And like I said at the top, this is going to be the SoCon. All right, so you're one seed in this tournament with a record of 26-5, 15-3 overall, or 26-5 overall, 15-3 in conference, the Sanford Bulldogs. Second, 21-10 overall, 12-6 in conference play, the UNC Greensboro Spartans. Number 3 overall, 20-11 overall, 12-6 in conference play, the Chattanooga Mocs. Your 4th seed, 22-9 overall, 11-7 in conference play, the Western Carolina Catamounts. Your 5 seed, the Furman Paladins, 16-15 overall, 10-8 in conference play. Your 6th seed, the Wofford Terriers, 17-14 overall, 10-8 in conference play. Your 7th seed, the East Tennessee State Buccaneers, 16-15 overall, 8-10 in conference play. Your 8th seed, the Mercer Bears, 15-16 overall, 8-10 in conference play. Your 9th seed, the Citadel Bulldogs, 11-20 overall, 3-15 in conference play. And at the bottom, 4-27 overall, 1-17 in conference play, the VMI Keydets. All right, so without further ado, here we go. First round will begin Friday, March 8th from Harrah's Cherokee Center. 5 o'clock Eastern, 9th seed, the Citadel, 8th seed, Mercer. My line for this game is Mercer 6.6, so 141.5. The best player on the court in this game will be the Citadel's A.J. Smith, averaging over 16 a game, but Mercer's the better team. So we're going to advance Mercer. In the second of 2 first-round games, this will be at 7:30 Eastern on Friday. 10 seed VMI, 7 seed East Tennessee State. One team is significantly better than the other, and that's East Tennessee State. They have a big 3, led by Ebi Asamoah, over 15 a game. I project East Tennessee State 11.9, total 145 and 2/5, so I'm going to advance East Tennessee State. The quarterfinals will be Saturday, March 9th at noon Eastern. I project 8 seed Mercer and 1 seed Sanford. I barely talked about Mercer. Their best player is Jalen McCrary, almost 16 a game. Sanford's unbelievable. They were in play for at large for a while, but they fell off a little bit. They're led by Acker at over 15 a game. Has the best name, perhaps, in the whole sport. He's really fun to watch. He's the big guy on Sanford. He plays center. I project Sanford 6 3/4, so I'm going to advance Sanford. Second of 4 quarterfinal games, East Tennessee State, your 7th seed against 2 seed UNC Greensboro. Greensboro, pretty good team this year. One of the best scorers in the league in Mikael Brown-Jones. Averaging almost 20 a game. I project Greensboro 6.6, so I'm going to advance UNC Greensboro. Third of 4 quarterfinal games, 6 seed Wofford, 3 seed Chattanooga. Wofford was a little mediocre this year. They have a good player in Corey Tripp, averaging over 15.5 per game. And Chattanooga probably has the best guy on the court in Honor Huff. It's another awesome name. Over 17.5 a game. I project Chattanooga 4.1, total 149 and 9/20, so I'm going to advance Chattanooga. In the last of 4 quarterfinal games, 5 seed Furman, 4 seed Western Carolina. Furman has a good player, as on JP Paguas at 18 a game. They have a lot of good players. Another one being Marcus Foster. And then on the other side, Western Carolina, they got off to a hot start this year, but they kind of fell apart in conference play. They have someone that's probably the player of the year in Vontarius Woolbright at over 21 a game. He averages a double-double for this team. I project WCU 4.1 total 150, so I'm going to advance Western Carolina. Semifinals. 4 seed Western Carolina, 1 seed Samford. You have Woolbright and Trey Jackson and Russell Jones Jr. on one side, and then Samford, we talked about Anchor, AJ Staten McCrary, Jaden Campbell, Jermaine Marshall. They're deep. I'm going to project Samford 3.4, so I'm going to advance Samford to the championship, although Western Carolina has a shot. 3 seed Chattanooga, 2 seed UNC Greensboro. This is about as tight can get. You have Brown Jones on one side and Huff and Trey Bottom on the other. And Greensboro also has Kayshawn Langley to rely on. I project Greensboro 1.3, so I'm going to advance UNC Greensboro. And in the championship, 2 seed UNC Greensboro, 1 seed Samford. This would be a really good game. A lot of talent on both ways. I just think that Samford's a better and more proven team, led by Aker. And I project Samford 4.1. So my pick to win the 2024 SoCon tournament, the Samford Bulldogs. And they will probably be a 12 seed, if not a 13. But they should be a 12, and they'll be a real threat to be a sleeper to go to the Sweet 16, depending on who they get in the tournament. I think there's some real NIT possibilities in here. Western Carolina, Greensboro, maybe even Chattanooga. Samford will be NIT bound if they lose early in this tournament. CBI possibilities. I think the 3 teams I mentioned earlier and Wofford, I think, are CBI candidates. But I think that the 3 teams that have 20 wins, that's not Samford, also have a chance to be in the NIT. Most outstanding player of the tournament, I'm going to go with Aker. And like I said, best name, and he's going to win the most outstanding player of this tournament. All right, who has value in this tournament to win it? So this is a smaller tournament, 10 teams compared to some that have like 12 or 15 or so be it. So the favorite is Samford at plus 155, Greensboro's plus 450, Furman and Western Carolina 5-1, Chattanooga 7-1, Wofford, East Tennessee Center 20, Mercer's 50, the Citadel's 150, VMI's 250. I genuinely believe the values on Western Carolina at 5-1. Will Bright's in the conversation for player of the year in this conference. He's outstanding, averaging a 21, 12, and 5. And he's just a pleasure to watch in this league. So Western Carolina 5-1 has the value, but I would put Samford in there with Drake and with Colgate and James Madison and some of these other schools to win their conference tournaments in a parlay. So status of coaches. All right. Bucky McMillan, I think, will be in a different job down the road. If not this year, definitely next year. I think Mike Jones has a chance to get a different job, like a promotion job. Dan Earl at Chattanooga. All these teams have some potential to like pull off a round 1 upset as a 13 seed or a 12 seed. Justin Gray at Western Carolina. Dwight Perry's in year 1 at Wofford. I don't see him going anywhere. Hot seat on the flip side. Ed Conroy is in year 2, but in his second stint. I think they will give him a year 3. Andrew Wilson, we'll see about him at VMI. And I think Mercer's been a little better than expected this year. So I think that Greg Gary has earned himself another season. Brooks Savage, that team did okay this year. Bob Ritchie, who's always been in play for other jobs, but I don't think Furman has been as good as it's usually been in the past. And like I said in previous podcasts, it's hard to project who's going to be good and such in each league because the transfer portal changes everything. But if I had to guess blindly, I would think Wofford and Furman are going to be better. And maybe Chattanooga and maybe Western Carolina take a step back, and maybe Sanford. Greensboro is usually good. Mercer's was better than I thought they were going to be. Wofford was better than expected this year. So there's some teams that we'll see going forward. So there you have it for the SoCon. Next up will be the Summit League.